Welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in March, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of March. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my February portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of March. The total value of my portfolio at the end of February was $86,877.61. $86,841.02 was the market value of my investments, and $36.59 was the cash amount. At the end of February, the total profit of my portfolio was at $26,454.67. This was plus 43.81%. These are my holdings: 2 Vanguard ETFs and the 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had the 106 shares of VCN at the end of February. VFV is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This is the Canadian version of a VOO. I had the 296 shares of VFV at the end of February. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and the emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT. I had 522 shares of XEQT at the end of February. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 280 shares of XUU at the end of February. I will now show you how much I invested in March and how many shares I bought. I bought 8 shares of a VFV. The cost per share was $146.16. The total cost, $1,169.31. This is 57% of the amount that I invested in March. I bought 12 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $33.91. The total cost, $406.91. This is 20% of the amount that I invested in March. I bought 8 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $60.60. The total cost, $484.81. And this is 24% of the amount that I invested in March. In total, I bought 28 shares, all the ETFs combined. And the amount that I invested in March was $2,061.03. This is $775.45 more than the amount that I invested in February. As you can see, in February, I invested $1,285.58, and in March, $2,061.03. The difference is plus $775.45. The total equity of my portfolio at the end of March was $84,043.21. $83,913.40 was the market value of my investments, and $129.81 was the cash amount. At the end of March, the total profit of my portfolio was at $21,466.02. This was plus 34.34%. As of March the 31st, I had 106 shares of a VCN, 304 shares of a VFV, 534 shares of XEQT, and 288 shares of XUU. Alright, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with a VCN. The closing market price on March the 31st was $50.99. The quantity of shares that I had, 106. The average price, $41.32. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $4,380.04. The market value was $5,404.94. This was 6.43% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VCN was $1,024.90, or 23.40%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on March the 31st was $143.03. The quantity of shares that I had, 304. The average price, $102.78. The book value was $31,246.02. The market value was $43,481.12. This was 51.74% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VFV was $12,235.10. or 39.16%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on March the 31st was $33.65. The quantity of shares that I had, 534. The average price, $26.57. The book value was $14,190.09. The market value was $17,969.10. This was a 21.38% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for XAQT was $3,779.01, or 26.63%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on March the 31st was $59.23. The quantity of shares I had, 288. The average price, $43.85. The book value was $12,631.23. The market value was $17,058.24. This was a 20.30% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for XUU was $4,427.01, or 35.05%. The decline in the stock market that started in February continued in March. This decline in stock prices is caused by Trump's tariffs and the trade war he is waging against many countries, whether they are US allies or not so friendly countries like China. He doesn't care. I guess he's just a tariff man. My portfolio went from being up 43.81% at the beginning of the month to just 34.34% at the end of the month. This is a decline of 9.47%, even though I invested $2,061.03 in March. As for the S&P 500 index, it lost 5.75% in March. Other US indexes lost too. For example, the Dow Jones lost 4.2% and the Nasdaq lost 8.2%. Currently, there's a lot of uncertainties in the stock market and the economy in general. People have no clue of what Trump's moves will be. Things are so unstable right now, and investors are waiting for April the 2nd, what Trump refers to as Liberation Day, to see the new tariffs that he's going to unveil. More chaos in the stock market may even come in April and the months ahead. If you are a long-term investor, see the stock market's decline as an opportunity to buy your favorite ETFs and stocks at a discount. Personally, that's the way I see it. I will stay the course and keep buying consistently. If I have more cash reserve, I will even buy more. You can notice that in March, I invested more than usual. And if prices declines further in April, I will even invest more. Alright, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.